Hello everyone and welcome, so glad you could be with us today. We're here to explore a really powerful vision for our communities in the Don and Rouge River watersheds. Think of this short intro as just setting the table. For our focused 40-minute conversation, we want to see how we can connect our local actions to a bigger, beautiful idea called UnityNet. All right, let's dive in. We're going to start with a question that honestly sits at the very heart of why we're all here. It's a question that's echoing in communities all across Canada and really around the world, and it's one that truly demands our deepest attention.
I think we're all seeing it, right? This troubling rise in youth mental distress. So much anxiety, depression, and just a deep, profound sense of disconnection. And really, it's no surprise. So many of our young people are navigating their biggest worries all alone, often through the isolating filter of a screen, without those trusted intergenerational spaces where they can just be heard.
So, what do? How do we even begin to respond to this crisis of connection? Well, our guiding principle is this really profound idea. Before we build anything else, any project, any program, we have to focus on healing the connections between us first. Why? Because without that strong foundation of trust and relationship, no other project can truly flourish. It's our most strategic starting point. And that starting point actually has a name: listening infrastructure. Now, what does that really mean? It means we have to intentionally create real, local spaces where deep listening, where trust, and where the right to own our own stories are the absolute foundation. It's like we're rebuilding the very fabric of our community, one genuine conversation at a time.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how do we make this listening infrastructure real? Right here in our neighborhoods. We're exploring two beautifully simple, yet incredibly powerful starting points: story benches and watershed grandmothers. Let's take a closer look at what that means.
You know, it all starts with something as simple and profound as a place to sit together. This isn't just about a piece of wood and some legs. It's about intentionally creating the space for connection across generations. This is the simple, powerful idea behind what we call a story bench.
A story bench is so much more than just furniture. It's a commitment. It's a designated space. It could be a real bench or just a symbolic spot for deep listening between youth, elders, and neighbors. It's a place where consent is absolutely paramount, building that trust at the most local level possible. And, maybe most importantly, it's a way to transform the real experiences of our young people into honored knowledge.
And this difference is it's absolutely vital. We live in a digital world that so often turns our personal experiences into content to be extracted for clicks and profit. Our approach is fundamentally different. The story bench model is all about ensuring people have sovereignty over their own stories. We're not extracting narratives, we are honoring them.
This, of course, leads to a really essential question. If these are going to be spaces of deep trust and listening, who holds that space? Who ensures that the dignity of every single person is respected and protected?
This is where the vital role of the watershed grandmothers and a circle of elders comes in. Inspired by indigenous governance models, they act as the guardians of this entire process. They aren't just advisors on the side. They are the living, breathing heart of the ethical framework that makes these spaces truly safe. Let's just sit with this for a moment. The grandmothers are not advisors. They are the governing intelligence. This model places wisdom, relationship, and lived experience at the very center of how we do things. It's all about creating the right conditions for well-being to arise organically from the ground up instead of being managed from the top down.
So we've talked about these very human-scale solutions. Now let's zoom out for a second to see the bigger picture, the framework that allows these small, powerful actions to connect and create real systemic change.
We use the 8-pointed star as a really powerful symbol for this work. It draws on ancient wisdom from many traditions, and for us, it represents renewal, the birthing of new partnerships, and all the new possibilities that can emerge from a common center.
And this star isn't just a nice image, it's actually our map. It's reflected in our organizing model, which we call the Hepta Matrix. It's simply a framework for intentionally weaving together 8 key sectors of our society. Each point on the star is a vital pathway for partnership, ensuring our work is holistic and supported by the whole community, which is crucial for long-term sustainable development. The Watershed Peace Council is the living embodiment of this star. I want you to think of it like a modern-day council fire or a lodge. It's the space where all 8 of these different sectors come together to collaborate, to build new agreements, and to launch projects that truly serve the well-being of our rivers, our youth, and all our relations.
This diagram is a fantastic way to visualize what we're building. Imagine each of those little nodes is a partner, a project, or a person. Together, we are building a resilient network of support all across our watersheds, a network built not for data or the internet, but for deep, interconnected, and lasting well-being.
And that brings us right back here, to this moment, to this call. We've talked about the why and the how. Now let's talk about the who. And that, of course, means you.
So I want to invite each of you to just look at this star for a moment and ask yourself, where do I see myself here? Where's my place in this story? Whether you're an artist, an organizer, an elder, or you work in the public sector, you have a vital, needed place in this constellation of change.
For the rest of our time together today, these are the key questions we want to explore. Let's get specific. Let's dream a little. And let's start to identify some real, tangible opportunities to bring this beautiful vision to life, right here in our own communities.
So let's hold this simple and powerful intention as we move into our conversation. Listen to water, remember together, restore peace. Thank you so much for your willingness to listen and for bringing your good energy to this vital work. Now, let's begin.